The humans sat alone in their small, dim apartment, staring at a device that had been silent for months. Then, without warning, a message blinked across the screen. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, symbols that shimmered and twisted as if alive. A soft voice, neither male nor female, spoke through the device. "We invite you. Come. Hunt what none have faced. Survive and you will understand." The words sent a shiver down the human's spine. Curiosity burned stronger than fear. Most people would have ignored it, dismissed it as a hoax. But not them. Their mind raced, imagining worlds beyond the stars, creatures that defied reason, and challenges that demanded every ounce of wit and courage. The next day, the human found themselves at the edge of a hidden landing platform in the outskirts of the city. The air shimmered with heat, charged with an energy that felt alive. A craft hovered silently, sleek and organic in design, like a living thing shaped from metal and light. Its surface rippled as if breathing. The human's heart hammered, excitement and anxiety tangled together. This is real," they whispered. As they approached, a door opened without a sound. Inside, the craft was vast, larger than it looked outside, with corridors that twisted like rivers of light. Strange markings ran along the walls, pulsing softly. The human felt both awe and a creeping unease. Every instinct told them to step back, but curiosity pushed forward. A figure appeared, humanoid yet not human. Its skin was iridescent, shifting colors in the light. It had no visible eyes, but somehow the human felt watched. The figure spoke, voice smooth and calm. "We have observed your kind for long. We require one capable of thinking beyond fear, beyond instinct. You have been chosen." "Chosen?" the human asked, voice shaky, adrenaline surging. "For what?" "To hunt," the alien said simply. "To confront what none before have faced. You may survive or you may not. The choice of courage is yours." The human's stomach churned. Their minds spun with possibilities. What? Why them? Questions piled like rocks, but none deterred the thrill. Their life had been quiet, predictable. This was a leap into the unknown, into danger and wonder. They nodded slowly, determination replacing hesitation. "I accept," they said. The alien tilted its head, a gesture like curiosity mirrored back. "Know this, what awaits is not mere prey. It is intelligence. It is power. It will test every thought, every decision. You will see what few have survived to describe." The human swallowed hard, imagining creatures that could anticipate every move, landscapes that could shift and close traps without warning. Their heart raced, every nerve alive. Fear whispered to turn back, to retreat to the safety of familiar streets and faces. But curiosity roared louder. What secrets, what discoveries lay beyond this invitation? The craft's engines hummed as it lifted silently, leaving the city behind. Through the transparent ceiling, stars stretched in impossible patterns, constellations unfamiliar, skies painted in alien light. The human leaned forward, eyes wide, feeling the pull of adventure in every fiber of their being. Hours passed, or maybe days, the human could not tell. Time bent inside the craft, and dreams bled into reality. Hints of the alien world appeared in glimpses, floating mountains, glowing rivers, and forests that pulsed with colors beyond the human eye. Strange creatures darted between shadow and light, their movements deliberate, almost intelligent. The human's pulse quickened. "What is this place?" they murmured. The alien spoke again, though its voice came from everywhere, echoing softly in the corridors. "Patience. All will be revealed. First, understand the world. Then understand the hunt. Only then will you confront what waits." The humans sat in the observation chamber, absorbing everything. Their mind was a storm of questions, fear, and excitement. They reached out, almost touching a floating plant that shimmered with internal light. It recoiled like the world itself was alive, aware. A thrill ran through the human. They were walking in a place where rules bent, where survival depended on wit, courage, and understanding what nothing on Earth had taught them. Later, as the craft descended toward a vast landscape of jagged cliffs and luminous forests, the alien figure approached. "When you step out," it said, voice calm, "you enter a domain older than your species, older than most stars. The apex waits, patient and eternal. You may be clever, but it is unlike anything you know." The human exhaled, heart hammering, every instinct alert. Their body tingled with anticipation and dread. The craft's doors slid open, revealing a world bathed in strange light, filled with sounds that resonated deep in their bones. Wind carried scents both alien and alive, stirring a primal thrill. One step forward and the hunt would begin. No one had seen the apex and lived to tell. No one had survived this invitation. And yet, the humans smiled, curiosity blazing in their eyes. "Then I will see it," they said aloud, voice steady. "I will see everything." The alien figure remained silent, a ripple of color passing across its skin. Somewhere in the shadows, movement shifted, a presence that watched, waited, and acknowledged the human's resolve. The stage was set, the first step taken, and the human's journey into the unknown had begun. The humans stepped off the craft onto the alien soil, a strange warmth seeping into their boots. The ground pulsed faintly beneath each step as if the planet itself breathed. Towering trees arched over the landscape, their trunks twisting like molten glass, and leaves shimmered with a faint bioluminescent glow. Strange cries echoed from unseen heights. Every sound seemed to carry intelligence, as if something watched and judged each movement. A sudden rustle came from the glowing underbrush. The human froze, muscles taut. From the shadows, a small lizard-like creature burst forward, its scales reflecting light in sharp fragments. It hissed, teeth glinting. The human stumbled back instinctively, heart pounding. "Easy. I'm not your enemy," they whispered. But the creature did not heed words. It leapt with surprising speed, snapping at the human's legs. Adrenaline surged. The human dodged, rolling across the alien soil. The creature was fast, but its movements were erratic, almost testing them. Curiosity mingled with fear. "What are you?" they muttered, eyes scanning for escape routes. Around them, more rustles came, shadows moving with purpose. Small predators, no bigger than dogs but with glimmering claws and jagged mouths, emerged from the foliage. They circled, silent except for the low hum of their bodies vibrating against the alien air. The human's mind raced. These were not ordinary animals. They were hunting, communicating, adapting. Every step they took seemed anticipated, every breath measured. Panic pressed against reason, but training and instinct overrode it. They reached for a multipurpose tool strapped to their belt, a device capable of emitting a pulse of light strong enough to disorient attackers. One creature lunged. The human activated the device. A blinding beam shot outward, and the predator shrieked, retreating into the shadows. The human exhaled sharply, sweat prickling the back of their neck. "This planet, it's alive," they said to themselves, voice trembling. Each movement revealed more of the terrain. Jagged rocks covered with strange moss that seemed to twitch, streams flowing with liquid that glowed faintly, and trees that bent subtly as if avoiding intrusion. From the corner of their vision, a massive shadow slid across the cliffs above. The human stomach dropped. Something enormous moved with deliberate precision, leaving deep gouges in the terrain. Their pulse spiked, fear and fascination colliding. The alien's voice, calm but firm, echoed in their mind, "Observe, adapt. What hunts you is not mindless. It is aware." The human pressed forward cautiously, using the glowing moss as light and guide. Every step was measured, every breath silent. They spotted another small predator, this one perched atop a rock, its many eyes reflecting the ambient glow. The human froze, watching it tilt its head, analyzing. A strange thrill coursed through them. This was no ordinary hunt. They were being studied as much as they were tracking. A sudden roar shattered the air, low and vibrating, shaking the ground. The smaller creatures scattered instantly as if the sound carried authority. The human's knees buckled. From the edge of a cliff, the apex beast revealed itself, not fully but enough to freeze the human's blood. Its massive frame was partially shadowed, covered in chitin-like armor that reflected the alien light in sharp, terrifying angles. Its head, enormous and triangular, scanned the area slowly, the eyes glinting with cold intelligence. The human could feel its gaze even from afar. Instinct screamed to flee, but curiosity rooted them. They crouched behind a jagged rock, heart hammering. "It's thinking," the human whispered, voice barely audible. "It's waiting, learning." Suddenly a branch snapped. A small predator, bolder than the rest, darted toward the human. Reflexes kicked in. The human grabbed a rock and threw it, the predator yelping and retreating, but the sound drew attention. The apex beast shifted, muscles coiling beneath its armored skin. The air trembled as it descended, each step precise, calculated, terrifying. The human ran, weaving between rocks and strange plants, glancing back at the shadow closing the distance. It wasn't chasing recklessly, it was evaluating, predicting. The human's mind raced. This wasn't just a hunt, it was a test. Each obstacle, each predator, each shadowed movement was teaching them something about the apex, about the rules of this world. They paused at the edge of a glowing river, chest heaving, sweat burning their eyes. The water shimmered, alive with strange energy. As they looked across, they saw hints of structures, ancient ruins embedded in cliffs, half-buried and glowing faintly. Symbols on the walls flickered like messages. The human realized this planet had been home to creatures far older than their understanding, and the apex beast was its guardian, its master. A low, vibrating growl rose from the shadows behind them. The humans spun, facing the smaller predators creeping closer, encircling them. Fear and thrill intertwined, a dangerous cocktail. They gritted their teeth, ready to confront whatever came next. "I don't know if I'll survive," they muttered under their breath, "but I need to see it. I need to see it all." The apex beast stepped fully into view now, muscles rippling, eyes cold and calculating. The smaller predators froze, respecting its authority. The human's heart pounded, but they held their ground. For the first time they felt a strange connection, a shared intelligence, a silent acknowledgement. This world was alive and it was waiting to reveal itself, piece by piece, challenge by challenge. The hunt had truly begun, and the human understood one thing with clarity: curiosity alone would not be enough to survive. Adaptation, courage, and wit would be their only tools. And the apex, hidden yet ever-present, was already shaping the rules of the game. The human pressed forward through the glowing forest, each step careful and deliberate. Shadows twisted around them and strange cries echoed in the distance. Their body ached from running, from constant alertness, but the mind burned with curiosity. Every instinct told them to be cautious, yet something deeper urged them to explore, to understand the world that tested them so ruthlessly. Suddenly, a soft sound, almost like a whimper, came from beneath a cluster of luminescent vines. The human froze, ears straining. They crouched low, scanning the undergrowth. Two glowing eyes blinked up at them. A small creature emerged, no larger than a fox, with sleek, silver fur that reflected the ambient light. Its eyes were unusually large and intelligent, and it tilted its head, studying the human with an odd mixture of fear and curiosity. The human took a slow step forward, holding their hands open. "It's okay. I won't hurt you," they whispered, heart pounding. The creature twitched its ears, sniffed the air, then took a tentative step closer. The human noticed small scars on its body, signs of battles survived. A pang of empathy hit them. "You've been through a lot, haven't you?" they murmured. The creature emitted a low, melodic chirp, almost like an acknowledgement. Before they could react further, a sudden roar rolled across the cliffs above. The apex beast was near, moving with deliberate, terrifying precision. Smaller predators scattered immediately, some taking flight, others hiding. The human froze, their pulse racing. The silver creature crouched low, ready to bolt, but instead, it stayed, eyes locked on the human. "Stay with me," the human said urgently, though unsure if it understood. The creature hesitated, then padded silently to their side. The human felt a strange reassurance, as if the small alien was aware of the danger and willing to help. Together they moved through the forest, avoiding snapping branches and glimmering traps set by unseen forces. The apex beast's presence was constant, a weight in the air, shaping their every decision. Hours passed, or maybe minutes, the human could not tell. The landscape shifted in subtle ways, glowing mushrooms that opened and closed as if breathing, rocks that seemed to shift when not watched, streams that reflected images of things not present. The human realized the planet itself was alive, a sentient environment designed to challenge, to teach. The silver creature occasionally glanced back at them, nudging them toward safer paths or away from danger. Suddenly, a pair of predators leapt from above, claws extended. The human barely rolled out of the way as one slashed through the air where they had just stood. The silver creature darted between them, hissing and biting at the attackers, drawing their attention. The humans scrambled to their feet and activated their light pulse device. A flash of blinding energy sent the predators recoiling, giving them a moment to escape. The human's chest heaved. You saved me," they panted, glancing at the small companion. The creature chirped softly, almost proudly. As they pressed forward, the terrain changed. Massive cliffs rose like walls of crystal, and the apex beast's footprints appeared in the soft, glowing soil, deep, immense, deliberate. The human's stomach churned. The creature stopped at the edge of a narrow bridge of stone, sniffing the air. Something was wrong. From the shadows beneath, smaller predators lurked, ready to pounce. The human felt tension spike, every nerve alive. "Careful," they whispered to the creature. Step by step they moved across the bridge, muscles tense, breath shallow. Shadows shifted, and the apex beast's roar echoed off the cliffs, vibrating through bone and soil. The human realized it was testing them, forcing them into choices that demanded courage and intelligence. Halfway across, a shadow lunged from the darkness below. The human ducked instinctively as the silver creature leapt, claws extended, meeting the predator midair. A fierce struggle ensued, sparks of light and movement blending in the alien glow. The human activated their device again, creating a blinding pulse that disoriented both attackers. When the light faded, the silver creature stood beside the human, victorious but panting. The human reached down, patting its head. "We make a good team," they said, voice low but fierce. The apex beast appeared on the cliffs above, watching silently, assessing. Its massive eyes followed every movement, calculating, aware. The human understood something crucial. This hunt was not about brute force. It was about strategy, adaptation, and learning to read the world and its creatures. Their small companion had already given them an edge they had not expected. As the human and the creature continued, a sudden tremor ran through the ground. Rocks shifted, trees groaned, and the glowing soil cracked beneath their feet. The apex beast was near, testing the terrain, reshaping the battlefield. The human grabbed a branch, using it to steady themselves, while the silver creature crouched defensively. Every sense screamed alert. They were being observed, measured, and pushed to limits they had never faced. The human exhaled slowly, forcing calm. "We'll survive this. Together," they said. The creature chirped in response, nuzzling their hand briefly, a silent promise of loyalty. A bond had formed, fragile but undeniable. For the first time, the human felt that survival might not depend on luck alone. Adaptation, courage, and trust could turn the tide. In the distance, the apex beast's shadow stretched across the cliffs, immense and unyielding. It was patient, waiting for the right moment to strike, and the human realized with a thrill that the hunt had only just begun. This world was alive, dangerous, and intelligent, and they had just found an ally capable of matching its cunning. The humans squared their shoulders, heart hammering as they and the creature pressed onward. Each step drew them closer to understanding the apex, closer to a confrontation that would demand every skill, every instinct, every ounce of courage they possessed. Curiosity still burned brighter than fear, and for the first time the human felt that perhaps, just perhaps, they could survive, and even change the rules of the hunt. The human crouched behind a jagged cliff, the silver creature pressed close at their side. The ground beneath them vibrated with power, low and deep, signaling the approach of the apex beast. They could hear it moving through the alien terrain, each step precise and deliberate, shaking stones and glowing moss alike. The human's chest ached, not just from exertion but from anticipation. Every instinct screamed danger, yet a spark of determination blazed in their eyes. Ahead, the forest thinned into a wide canyon. Strange machinery, alien and sleek, pulsed faintly along the cliffs, an obvious trap set by the aliens who had orchestrated this hunt. Lasers crisscrossed the space, silent but deadly, waiting for a wrong move. The human knelt, studying the lines of light, the hidden tripwires, and the subtle motion sensors embedded in the rocks. Fear threatened to paralyze them, but the small companion nudged their hand, chirping insistently. They realized suddenly, they could use the trap against its makers. "All right, let's turn this game around," the human whispered, scanning for leverage. They picked up a reflective shard from the glowing rocks and angled it carefully. Light from the lasers bounced off the shard, redirecting beams toward the alien machinery. Sparks ignited, sensors tripped, and parts of the trap began to misfire. The human's heart raced with a dangerous thrill. "Yes, it's working," they breathed, eyes wide with adrenaline. A loud roar split the air. The apex beast emerged from the shadows, massive and terrifying, muscles rippling under armored skin. Its eyes glowed like molten metal as it studied the human and the small companion. The human froze for only a moment before taking a step forward, holding the reflective shard high. The beast tilted its head, analyzing the light, then slowly advanced. It was testing, gauging, not attacking yet. Suddenly, smaller predators, sent by the apex's own instincts or perhaps by the aliens, surged forward from hidden crevices, teeth and claws glinting. The human moved quickly, luring them into the misfiring lasers. One by one, the predators were caught in flashes, stunned or driven back. The silver creature darted between the human and the attackers, biting and hissing, guiding them safely through the chaos. The humans' pulse pounded as they realized the apex beast was not a mindless predator. It observed every move, calculating, anticipating. Then came the moment of clarity. The human understood the apex's pattern, its strategy. Every trap, every predator, every shadowed movement was part of a test, and it relied on predictability and fear. The human adjusted, moving unpredictably, forcing both beast and environment to adapt. Their chest burned, lungs heaving, but a thrill surged through them. "You're smarter than I thought," they muttered, addressing the apex, though it could not answer in words. The alien hunters, observing from their hidden stations, activated more traps, beams crisscrossing, energy fields sparking. They assumed the human was cornered. The human smirked, though breathless, and flicked the shard toward a central device. Sparks flew, machinery twisted, and the trap collapsed under its own misdirected energy. Lasers shot into the cliffs, striking the alien stations, disabling their surveillance. Silence followed, broken only by the low rumble of the apex beast. The creature's massive form descended into the canyon fully, moving with a grace that defied its size. It stopped a short distance away, eyes locked on the human. The human raised their hand slowly, not as a threat, but as an acknowledgement. "I don't want to fight you," they said, voice steady despite the pounding in their chest. The apex tilted its head, considering, then let out a low, resonant growl that shook the canyon walls. The silver companion chirped, running a cautious circle around the human, alert for danger. The apex beast's attention shifted briefly to the small creature, then back to the human, as if recognizing the alliance. A strange tension hung in the air, thick and electric. The human realized the apex wasn't merely hunting, they were being evaluated, challenged, respected in a way that few could understand. Suddenly, a part of the canyon floor shifted violently. The apex beast lunged, sending rocks cascading. The human reacted instinctively, rolling behind a jagged boulder, the silver creature leaping to intercept debris. The air hummed with raw energy, the ground vibrating under the combined power of planet, predator, and human ingenuity. The human realized they were not just surviving, they were mastering the environment, manipulating the challenges, and forcing both beast and hunters into unfamiliar territory. "Come on, let's finish this," the human whispered to the silver creature, gripping the reflective shard like a weapon and shield combined. The apex watched silently, muscles coiled, then advanced again. Each step it took reshaped the battlefield. But the human moved with equal precision, reading its patterns, predicting its responses, and leading it carefully toward the weakened trap mechanisms. When the apex beast stepped onto the unstable terrain, the ground shifted suddenly, forcing it to pause. Sparks flew from the misfiring devices, light reflecting off the human's shard into the apex's eyes. For a moment, predator and human locked gazes, a silent understanding passing between them. The human felt a thrill unlike anything before. They had turned the hunter's trap into their own advantage and earned the apex's recognition. The alien observers had gone silent. Their devices were offline, and their carefully orchestrated hunt had failed. The human exhaled slowly, muscles trembling, chest pounding. "We did it," they whispered to the silver creature. The companion chirped softly, rubbing against their leg. The apex beast remained still, massive and commanding, but the human sensed no immediate threat. For the first time they realized survival was possible, not just by running or hiding, but by understanding, adapting, and turning challenges into tools. The canyon was quiet now, save for the distant hum of the alien world. The human straightened, eyes wide, every nerve alert, yet exhilarated. The apex beast had not attacked, yet respect hung palpably in the air. The human had survived the trap, outsmarted both predator and alien hunters, and gained a small but invaluable ally in the silver creature. They knew the next stage would be even more dangerous. The apex beast had yet to test its full strength. But for the first time, the human understood that courage, intelligence, and trust could bend even the deadliest situations to their advantage. And in that moment, standing with their companion, the human felt a thrill that no fear could diminish, a thrill of mastery, survival. The canyon was silent now, bathed in an eerie, glowing light that seemed to pulse with the planet's heartbeat. The human crouched behind a jagged rock, silver companion pressed close. Every muscle in their body was tense, every nerve alert. The apex beast had watched them, tested them, and now for the first time waited, not to strike but to understand. The human's chest ached with adrenaline and awe. "We've come this far," they whispered to the small creature. It chirped softly, nuzzling their hand. The human exhaled slowly, realizing that survival alone was no longer the goal. This was something greater. They had outsmarted the traps, adapted to the predators, and faced the apex itself. Now it was time to see the full measure of what they had earned. The ground trembled beneath the beast's approach. Massive feet pressed into glowing soil, each step measured, each motion deliberate. Its eyes, molten and intelligent, locked onto the human. Fear surged briefly, but it was accompanied by a thrilling clarity. The human understood that brute strength was irrelevant. What mattered was connection, respect, and perception. The human stepped forward cautiously, hands open, heart pounding. "I don't want to fight you," they said aloud. The silver creature chirped in encouragement. The apex beast paused, its massive head tilting, nostrils flaring as if smelling not just their scent but their intent. A low, resonant growl rolled from deep within its chest, vibrating the canyon walls. The human's pulse raced, every instinct screaming that this could be the last moment of their life. Then came a change in the beast's posture. Its enormous shoulders relaxed slightly. Its eyes, intelligent and piercing, seemed to recognize the human's courage and cunning. The human could feel it. The apex beast was weighing the human's choices, measuring their will, and slowly respect began to form. "You understand?" the human murmured almost to themselves. They took another step forward. The apex beast's roar echoed, not in anger, but as acknowledgement, vibrating in the air like a living language. The human held their ground, heart hammering, muscles taut. For the first time, predator and human were not hunter and prey. They were participants in a shared understanding, a silent negotiation written in instinct, intelligence, and courage. Suddenly, the alien observers' devices sparked to life. From the cliffs, faint energy beams flickered as the hunters tried to reassert control. The human glanced up, fists clenched. "No," they whispered. With quick thinking, they kicked loose a shard of glowing rock, redirecting the energy pulses back toward the machinery. Sparks and light flashed as the alien stations overloaded, systems collapsing. The human's ingenuity had disrupted the hunter's control entirely. The apex beast watched the flashes, shifting slightly as if it understood the human's cleverness. A sense of awe and thrill ran through the human. They had survived the environment, adapted to predators, outwitted traps, and now even outsmarted the aliens themselves. Their chest rose and fell rapidly, every heartbeat resonating with exhilaration. The small companion chirped again, bounding forward, tail flicking. The human smiled, feeling a surge of connection. Together they had navigated impossible threats, turning fear into strategy, instinct into partnership. The apex beast stepped closer, its massive body shaking the ground with every movement, yet it did not strike. Its eyes reflected something the human had never expected: recognition, respect, perhaps even trust. "You're incredible," the human said softly. The apex beast tilted its massive head, as if considering the words, its low growl vibrating in the air. Then, without warning, it lowered its enormous head slightly and exhaled, a gesture almost ceremonial. The human's breath caught in their throat. They realized, with a thrill and a pang of disbelief, that they had achieved something no one before had. They had not defeated the apex beast with violence, but with courage, understanding, and wit. The alien observers erupted in panic as their control systems failed. Energy beams fizzled, consoles sparked, and the illusion of dominance collapsed. They had expected to witness a simple hunt, a display of human vulnerability. Instead, they saw ingenuity, alliance, and mutual respect between species. The human's heart swelled with a mix of fear, triumph, and disbelief. The apex beast shifted, moving a step closer, massive claws scraping the glowing soil. It sniffed the human carefully, then exhaled, low and rumbling, in what the human understood as acceptance. The silver creature chirped and nuzzled their leg, sharing in the moment. The human's lips curved into a tense, exhausted smile. They had survived not through weapons, not through strength, but through wit, adaptation, and empathy. Slowly, the apex beast turned and stepped back, vanishing into the glowing forest like a shadow dissolving into light. Silence followed, broken only by the hum of the alien world and the soft chirping of the silver companion. The humans sank to their knees, heart hammering, body trembling, overwhelmed by relief and exhilaration. They didn't expect this," the human whispered, voice hoarse. The alien observers remained in the distance, powerless, unable to comprehend what had occurred. The human had rewritten the rules of the hunt, surviving not as prey, but as a force equal to the apex itself. Rising slowly, the human looked across the glowing canyon. They felt something profound, an understanding beyond fear or survival. The apex beast had not just spared them, it had acknowledged them, and in that acknowledgement lay a bond deeper than any alliance formed in war or fear. The humans smiled, brushing dirt and sweat from their face. "We did it," they murmured to their companion. The silver creature chirped in response, tail flicking. Together they had endured impossible challenges, outsmarted predators, and turned the hunter's trap into a stage for their victory. As the alien world shimmered around them, alive and dangerous, the human understood the truth of this hunt. Courage, curiosity, and understanding could shape even the deadliest circumstances. The apex beast had tested them, the world had challenged them, and the aliens had underestimated them. Yet here they stood, victorious, alive, and changed. For the first time, the human felt the full weight of their journey, the thrill of discovery, the rush of survival, and the quiet awe of earning the respect of a being greater than themselves. And as the glowing forest stretched endlessly before them, they knew one thing with certainty: they had not just survived the hunt. They had redefined it.